Welcome, Internet Nomad, to my own game tales of milk inside a bag of milk inside a bag of milk. After covering Harmony, The Fall of Reverie, I thought it was perfect time to talk about a different visual novel. Since May is Mental Health Awareness Month, I decided to cover a game based on mental illness. I found this game from a Nitro Rad video. It was one of the games he played one year. Having my own case of mental illness, I was intrigued by the premise. I've been a part of the mental health community. I went to NAMI groups. In fact, some of my spoken word pieces have came from prompts from those writing groups. I bought the game on Switch and it came with the game sequel. I will not cover the second game this go around, since I haven't found all the endings. I related to the protagonist because in 2016 I heard voices and seen things that weren't there. I liked the idea of playing as the voice inside her head. After experiencing hearing voices for myself and how scary it was, I liked how the voice affects the game. The whole premise of the game is the player is a voice in her head. Her goal is to buy a bag of milk. It is a visual novel. It also likes to break the fourth wall a lot. It takes very little time to beat. I finished it in less than a half hour. There is little replay value. The time could be longer if you choose the bad dialogue options, but they just cause the story to reset. As the voice, you influence the story. Sometimes voices could literally paralyze a person, and like the protagonist in the game, it causes the person to reset. I thought that was kinda cheap. I would have loved to have different outcomes based on the choices. At times I felt like I had to pick all the nice choices to see more of the story. The second playthrough I picked every bad choice, and 9 times out of 10 it would just reset. The control the voice has over the story is truly realistic. In my case, voices derailed my entire life. I quit college and seminary because of how paranoid I was. I had extreme anxiety and basically lost all emotion. My catatonic schizophrenia, which made it harder to diagnose, I was completely mute for what I termed the lost week. I have barely any memory of what happened. The reason I bring up my diagnosis is because once you learn what diagnosis the main character has, the game clicks. The game is designed depicting what a person with that illness would see. I didn't know the first time I played. I just thought it was a weird art style. In the sequel, Milk Outside of a Bag of Milk, she takes multiple medications. She refuses to take some, blaming side effects and undesirable results. This I could relate with too. When I was in the hospital, I felt the doctors were trying to overdose me. Each time I went there were different pills, and more times than not, more of them. I had this disillusion that if I took the pills in my left hand, they would have no effect. I was definitely not thinking properly at the time. The second game has multiple endings. I only found one so far. I haven't played a second playthrough, but I'm gonna try to find all 5 soon. I don't want to use a walkthrough, but I might have to bite the bullet if I can't find them all. Final thoughts. This video gave me the opportunity to talk about my own mental illness. I'm sorry if I focus too much on myself and not the game. I created this channel to share my own experiences with games. That's why I call them game tales instead of reviews. This game was too short to make a great video without giving my background on the topic. Near the end, there's a serious conversation between the player and the girl about her trauma. This opens the player to crucial insight about mental health. Many people throw around the word trigger warning, but the true fact is anything could be triggering dependent on the context and history of a person. This game invites the player to realize something as small as getting milk from the store could be a great feat. When I had psychosis, I couldn't get on a bus without freaking out. I still have anxiety about it years later. So that's my own game tales of milk inside a bag of milk inside a bag of milk.